What happened to the Quentin Johnston hype? After being projected to be a potential top 10 pick heading into the draft season, the hype completely tapered off, to many being low enough on him that he was being mocked out of the first round completely. He still ended up being a first round pick, going to the Chargers at pick 21 in what is a perfect fit for his skill set and development. He was still a true first round talent on my board, and was well deserving of his hype and this spot. Let's dive into the tape and see exactly how he fits and how he has the potential to dominate with Justin Herbert. The first thing that stands out when watching Quentin Johnston is his speed and explosiveness. You wouldn't expect it for a guy of his size, but he is a freaky athletic specimen. He ran a 4.52 at his pro day, but he plays faster than this on tape, and you watch him burn past receivers over the top and easily burst and accelerate away from guys after the catch, with his run after catch ability being a constant threat for defenders, possessing excellent contact balance and shiftiness to bounce off tacklers and spin away from them. He has lightning quick feet at the line of scrimmage and routinely beats press with his hand fighting and rapid feet that he fires like a machine gun. He doesn't get nearly enough credit as he should for his route running and true ability to separate, as his blend of quick footwork and speed allow him to easily separate from defensive backs. He's a solid route runner, and I was particularly impressed with his short intermediate route running, proving that timing and quick routes such as hitches and comebacks were his bread and butter. There are some obvious weaknesses in his game though, many that have been noted a million times by draft analysts. The big one is that he is a body catcher, and he has subpar hands. He isn't a very good contested catcher, and he doesn't attack the football the way you would like a 6'2 receiver or two. He lets the ball into his body, which is unreliable and lets DBs catch up and knock the ball away far too easily. He won't be able to consistently succeed like this in the NFL, with significantly more aggressive and consistent DBs covering him. He doesn't exactly play up to his size and struggles with high pointing the football, as the body catching has just turned into an awful habit. To put it simply, he's too passive at the catch point. He's generally a sound route runner as mentioned before, but he doesn't have the best attention to detail or nuance in his routes, so while he separates well, there's room to grow in his route running to be able to set up defensive backs even better. So how does this all fit in with the Chargers? They are in desperate need of the explosiveness and athleticism that Johnston will bring. They have missed this in their receiver room for far too long, with the closest thing they've had to this being Jalen Guyton. Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are excellent receivers, but they don't bring anywhere near the level of explosiveness that Johnston brings. Keenan is a more methodical route-running safety blanket that's also on the wrong side of 30, while Mike Williams is your true 50-50 ball winner. Johnston fills the role that they were entirely lacking last year, and a true speed threat that legitimately threatens the secondary and forces the defense to keep themselves honest. The idea of having Mike Williams and Johnston on the outside with Keenan Allen in the slot is terrifying. With this one pick alone, they've turned this receiver room into a dynamic arsenal of weapons for Justin Herbert. I love the fit with the new offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. In Dallas, he loved to use those previously mentioned timing routes like hitches, which is one of Johnston's most lethal routes. His ability to stick his foot in the ground and whip himself around is unparalleled. Johnston is proficient on deep crossing routes as well, where he can just run away from defenders and track the ball deep. With the big arm and precision of Herbert, Johnston will dominate on these moon balls down the field, whether it's a go route or a deep crosser. He works the middle of the field effectively, as you can just put the ball in his hands on a slant route, and he is immediately a big play threat once the ball is in his hands. He won't have Max Duggan throwing ducks to him anymore, which will drastically increase his production. Seriously, Johnston could have doubled his statistics if Duggan could throw accurately or read the field properly. Despite his massive frame, I'm intrigued by the idea of using him in the slot, where you can take great advantage of his quick footwork and separation ability. It'd be an interesting mismatch in the slot, as nickel DBs tend to be smaller, so if Johnston can learn to use his size and simply box out and body these defenders away, they'd stand no chance. Even if he never does channel his size in this way, he's still an elite mover that can win with his athleticism. TCU tried to get involved on design touches, similar to a Deebo Samuel, which is another underappreciated trait of his, as he has the shiftiness and ball carrier ability to thrive in this way. It's another potential way to use him is to just get the ball in his hands. The narrative surrounding Quentin Johnston is unwarranted. People see his height and weight and assume he's this incredible 50-50 catcher that can go up and high point the ball with ease. That just isn't his game at this point in his career, and he's much more similar to someone like Deebo Samuel, as strange as it may sound. If he was 5'11 and not 6'2, the narrative around him may have been completely different. If you just take a minute to look at him in a different light and stop trying to treat him as someone that he isn't, you can see his strengths flourish much more clearly. He's put in a perfect situation in LA, sitting behind one of the best route runners of the 2010s and one of the best contested catchers in the NFL. Sitting behind Mike Williams and refining his craft is the perfect place for him to be, and he could potentially be the big physical receiver that everyone has pinned him to be. If the Chargers play into his strengths and let him blossom and simply do what he's good at, he will make an immediate impact even if he's the third receiver on the depth chart. As long as he goes in and works his ass off every day to learn and refine his hands and route running, the sky is the limit for Quentin Johnston, and him and Justin Herbert could terrorize defenses for years to come.